back to the GSL Code A, where we have Wolf and Caldor wearing some pretty awesome sweaters.
Yeah.
And we are going into our third best of 3. It's going to be between Shine and jangbi. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at our previous match results.
Exactly, Squirtle with a 2-0 versus Axiom's Mia, and now he is facing Yonghwa in the second round. The big thing that you want to do is win the first round. If you win the first round, you know that at least you are not going to drop down into Code B. You will have a chance in the up and downs to go to Code S no matter what.
And then if you win that, you have the problem of facing Life. This is possibly the hardest bracket in all of Code A, in fact. Squirtle versus Yonghwa, and then the winner of that places against Life. Wow.
I'm really excited for all these games. I mean, facing Life in the third round. Life being in Code A, that is also one of the things that I just can't wrap my head around.
He's got to win 2 games to get out, and he's got a tough opponent. No matter who wins that round 2 match, it's going to be a pretty close series.
The GSL has a big problem. StarCraft has become too awesome. Yeah. There is so much awesomeness.
How do you even deal with this problem?
Yeah, you cannot pack it into Code S. Code S is not big enough.
Yeah, that's
the awesomeness is just going.
It's leaking out everywhere.
Yeah,
it leaks into Code A. It kind of falls into GSTL.
Oh, it's crazy.
It goes into my house. It's all over my house. In fact, I got to clean it up sometime. But Shine is a very strong TSL Zerg, very underrated, in fact. But to be honest, I would put him as the favorite here as far as skill-wise goes and how much experience he has. Jangbi has not been playing StarCraft 2 for that long. I mean, let's face it, what was the last result? You guys may have heard of what he did in the last StarCraft 1 tournament, and, you know, because of that, he seemed like he might have been a little bit focused on StarCraft 1 for a little bit longer than some of his teammates, potentially.
The thing with Jangbi is that he did really well at the MLG versus Pro League Invitational. He also won, of course, one of the tournament grids at the GSL GSL Code A bracket. But the thing is that I can't really judge him at this point.
Yeah.
This is a different story. He's playing offline. He's not playing an online game. Shine has been here in the studio so often. He's getting more improvements every season. Jangbi has it in him. He is a pro gamer through and through. He is a genius. But the question is he ready yet? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm so excited for this game. I want to see who's getting into Code A round 2. Jangbi against Shine here at the GSL Code A with Caldor Wolf.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the wave like it's a stadium. The weatherman is about to be afraid.
Starting to the left side of the map, in red is a TSL Zerg player. This is
TSL Shine. TSL Shine.
He was in Code A for like 3. This is his 3rd season in a row, if I'm not mistaken. The first one he had to face Polt in the 3rd round and lost. In the last one he was terminated by the Terminator.
That's true.
And today he is up against another Protoss player, another Casper Protoss player. Fresh out of the Code A qualifier, it is
Samsung-kan Jangbi.
You know, I think that there was something about his red hair that I really liked, but in this scene here that we just saw on screen, he looks more simple. It's like he's like, all right, well, I may be an OSL champion, but you know, I thought with my fresh start in StarCraft 2, I'd go back to black. I'm liking it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this is one of the games when we had a look at the match list that I was the most excited about. I saw Jangbi play at not the last Code A qualifier, but the one before, and I talked to him. Jan helped dolmetching, and he was a really cool guy. You could actually think that Jangbi might be one of those guys who's not really that approachable, maybe a little bit arrogant, but he is super cool, super nice, and it was really awesome to meet him, to talk to him a little bit. And I felt that he's one of those guys who needs maybe a little bit more time than a player like Rain, but that he's going to be awesome in StarCraft 2. But now I'm not quite sure if he's ready, because I feel that Shine is really like this.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's like this diamond of skill that just hasn't found the right shape yet.
Yeah.
And TSL, the team, is doing such a great job with him. He came to the studio today smiling, happy, cheering, and he is in really a great shape these days. But who's going to win this best of 3? To be completely honest with you, Wolf, I have no idea.
We'll see. Jangbi is you know, I said Shine's a monster, but jangbi is like the monster that's hiding under your bed. And everyone's always like, there's no monster on my bed. I'm like, well, that's what everyone probably is thinking about jangbi too, but you don't know what's going to come out. He might come out here and show us some really excellent play. I have not seen him play in a really long time in StarCraft 2, so we'll see what he's up to. You know, one of my favorite things about Shine as a player, to me, is, you know, he's basically, to me, out of anyone I think I've ever seen at the studio, he's the most supportive teammate. He gets, like, the most supportive teammate award. He always comes to his teammates' matches as much as he can, loves to study Hyun's play, and just loves to support anyone who comes to play at the studio. He's almost always there.
Yeah, actually, I feel TSL should rename themselves. They should go for Team Ohana.
I like that idea. That way it can always be remembered.
And, well, currently, jangbi, I want to know what he's going to do. As I mentioned earlier, he was really successful when he played in the MLG versus Pro League Invitational, which is, of course, an online tournament for the most part. But just to go through a few of his performances against Zerg, he won against most of his opponents, actually with a 2-0. He took down Chef, he won against Sasquatch, and he took down Red as well.
Yeah.
But all these guys are foreigners.
Yeah, it's true.
And all these guys met him online, not offline, which is always a little bit different. For example, Rain at first. You know, you remember when he came to the studio and he had an interview like that? He was like, yeah, I have to get used to the new environment a little bit. Same goes for Jaedong. All of them said, it's different. I have to get used to it first, and then I might play on my best opponent.
That's absolutely true. And you know, jangbi may have some of the most experience out of the players who have switched over right now in the booth, but it doesn't matter if he can't get used to the studio, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to adjust. But he doesn't have the experience in this studio that Shine does by any means. Now, the Stargate play here is actually still, as far as I can tell, a secret.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Space Shark doesn't tell secrets.
No. Space Sharks, you can trust them. If you ever meet a Space Shark and you need someone to talk, you can trust them with all your dark secrets. They are actually pretty awesome. They're a little bit like Dexter Morgan. They don't tell.
They don't tell. Absolutely not. They also don't kiss either, so don't worry about that. Void Ray first here, and 4 extra gates.
I like this. I really love it. This is one of the builds that fell completely off the grid, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, usually this is something that we had, like, I feel 4 months ago, 5 months ago, maybe even a little bit longer. Gateways supporting Void Rays, and I really like it. I really love it. I feel this is one of the strongest attacks that you can execute with a gateway with a +1 attack. So we haven't seen this in a while, and Shine heading now straight into the very, very standard macro game with the speed coming now up, with the Roach Runner at a normal timing, with this lair attack. I'm not quite sure if he's ready, and look at this beautiful. The pylon on the low ground. We talked about this a bit when we had this game earlier on Antigua Shipyard.
Yeah. And there's no information. He has no idea what's coming. This one, we're actually going to watch 2 back-to-back Frost versus Zerg, so the Zerg is not able to get information about what the Frost is doing, and may end up losing the game for it here in game number 2. Spore Crawlers are coming down now as he figures out about the Stargate, but those are not going to be very useful against Zealots.
He can actually wait, and he's going straight into the base. Oh wow, the Queen in trouble.
You need Roaches to deal with this. He starts 2 Roaches right now, but that's not going to be enough. He needs a lot more. His Larva Inject's hit, but he doesn't have a ton of resources. He starts 4 more Roaches.
Yeah, the Warp-In's just making sure that he has the vision on the high ground. And so far, so good for jangbi. Doing a great job here. +1 is ready. The Void Ray production is still on, and there's not a lot of anti-air for Shine.
Yeah, he's trying to bring this Spore Crawler up to land it, but if the Void Ray targets it, it's not going to be able to go down.
The Queens are focus firing, targeting the Void Ray. The Void Ray dies.
Back. Yeah, it was a bit weird that he let that one go, but either way, this is not over yet. The next round of Warpins is going to be a big problem. He continues to make Zerglings, actually, rather than Roaches against this.
He could take down the lair here. The Queen dies, there is not a lot of anti-air, and there is just Zealot after Zealot being warped onto the high ground.
Yeah, I think he needs to go for that lair. These Zealots should probably stick together. It's important to have the buddy system when you are doing a timing attack. Now, the additional Void Ray comes out here. It's going to get the spawning pool, which will mean no more Lings, which actually might help Shine get those Roaches out.
Yeah! Now he can only press this R button and nothing else, but the lair is nearly gone. Shine, I feel, has He's completely running out of options
he's
here.
out of luck because he's going to lose 2 hatcheries now. And even with roaches here on creep, he can only kite so much. And jangbi has so many different transitions available at this point. Hydralistan is desperately going down for Shine now, which would be nice. He has enough resource to make a group of Hydras when that finishes, but they're not going to have range. And
there are 3 Void Rays, only 1 Queen, and 2 Sporkers have been started. But jangbi, what a start into this best of 3.
Just such an aggressive opening here, and Shine is going to be supply blocked soon because he's losing all of his Overlords right now. This game is over. Shine can't do anything. GG!
Wow! Starting things with a big bang here. jangbi, easy peasy.
I see ST over in the corner. He just walked in. He actually gave a nod right as the GG was dropped, as if he had already known that this is what was going to happen.
Approves.
Yeah.
If you can ever say that of one of your games, that's all that matters.
Here's what he's like. Yeah, that's fine. Didn't see it. That's how it happens.
jangbi, wow, look at you. That was really impressive. Well done, son. I have to say, that was beautiful. As already said earlier, I had no idea what to expect from him, but this was a great opening in the best of 3. Shine, on the other hand, if you just look at him, he's not shaking. He's like, okay, well, that didn't go well. I didn't see it. I didn't scout it. I made a mistake. So let's just forget about this game and focus on Daybreak.
Yeah, you know, some things you just can't, you cannot, if you cannot see, you cannot defend. I mean, that's just basic elementary StarCraft knowledge. If you don't scout what your opponent's doing, how can you prepare accordingly? That's why some builds are actually more catch-all builds than others, and the build that Shine chose here was not so much. He made a lot of Lings rather than Roaches, and he didn't have a ton of resources, so he wanted to utilize the resources he had in his larva the best way possible, and in the end he just didn't have enough to defend. Really nice execution by jangbi.
jangbi lost 1 Void Ray. This was a bit of a, I don't even want to call it a mistake. I mean, this was a beautifully executed attack with Void Ray and +1 Zealots. So it was really well done. He could have tried to save the Void Ray, but then in the end there were 3 of them in the main base, 1 Queen left, only 1 or 2 Spore Crawlers with a ton of Zealots on the ground. Beautiful game by jangbi on Abyssal City. Now we're heading into Daybreak, map number 2 here at the GSL Code A between Shine and jangbi. This is the first round. Whoever wins this best of 3 is going to advance to the second round, is safe for this season, and the loser has to go through the ordeal of another Code A qualifier. Will be down in Code B. The game is going to start at the GSL Code A with Colin Wolf.
Over the radio and back up in the raves.